Guess who? Okay. So. Gladly I was able to come back today, and we, hopefully, can finish the Doki Doki Literature Club side stories. I'm hoping. Da, 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 da. I will go ahead and get us over into that in just a moment. Wahaha. Oh no. No. The one time I don't fix it. Gosh dang it. I'm gonna see if this works real quick. Great. I don't know why it loves to desync the audio all the time. But we should be good to go now. Okay. So it looks like we're on the final chapter here. I think more unlock once we complete this one. I think I remember reading that a while ago. But I don't know exactly, so we'll see. So let's be prepared for that. But we at least have this final chapter. So let's jump in. My throat hates me today. It's only been one day since Yuri's letter was delivered to Natsuki, with Monika's help. Because Yuri chose not to attend the club meeting that day, she and Natsuki haven't faced each other since. Although it's only lunchtime, Yuri finds herself anxiously counting the hours until she will need to face the outcome of her efforts, whether good or bad. And because the passing by of students was making her feel even more anxious, Yuri picked out the most secluded spot she could find to spend her lunch. Because the staircase is under maintenance, no student would have any reason for coming here. Such a relaxing feeling to have a moment of solitude in the middle of a frantic school day. And then there's Natsuki. What are you doing here? I just... Yuri grips her book with enough force to wrinkle the pages beneath the pressure of her thumbs. Well, what are you doing here? I just came to get a drink from the vending machine. The other one's out of the drink I like. Yuri notices Natsuki fidgeting with the few coins between her fingers. She nods, avoiding eye contact. Natsuki, also looking away, shuffles over to the vending machine. It's so quiet that every one of her movements seems to reverberate through the entire stairwell. After far too long, she finally receives her beverage, which she then fidgets with in place of the coins. It's some kind of iced tea. Instead of leaving right away, Natsuki just stands in place. She glances all around her. It's like way too quiet back here. It's creepy. I mean, that's not what I mean, really. I mean, It's totally cool that it's your thing or whatever. Like, I can see how it suits you, so... Not because I think you're creepy or something, I didn't mean that either. You know... I'm just gonna stop talking. That seems like a good idea. It's okay. Everything is okay. Yuri finds herself attempting some words of comfort after hearing Natsuki stammer herself into dejection. Seemingly in response, Natsuki approaches the base of the staircase and hesitantly sits herself down near Yuri. Well, I can leave if you want. Yuri shakes her head. Natsuki twists the cap off of her drink and takes a sip. Despite receiving Yuri's general permission, Natsuki doesn't say anything more. Yuri continues to read, or at least pretends to. And the two just sit there for a long time. The tension seems to fade a little bit as time passes. Even without any words, this seems to mean at least something, though it's not clear what that may be. Lunch ends more quickly than expected. Natsuki is the first to stand up with her empty drink bottle. Are you coming today? To the club? Yuri nods. I'm sorry for being so awkward. I'm really bad at talking about this stuff. I just can't, for some reason. I don't know why. But I want to, eventually. There's no rush. I promise. Thanks. It's the next day. Natsuki appears from around the corner and steps up to the vending machine, glancing at Yuri as she does so. Today she seems to be holding some kind of book as well. Oh, you're here again? Well, I just came here to read this, because there aren't any people around here. Oh, I thought you didn't like how quiet it was. Well, I don't, but there's no people here. I see. Natsuki sits down. The mood feels much different today than it did yesterday. After yesterday's lunch and the club meeting that followed, Natsuki and Yuri are beginning to feel more relaxed around each other again. Although Yuri's letter is still lingering in the back of Natsuki's mind, she continues to detour around it. But it's okay that I'm here? Yeah, I don't care. I mostly just don't feel like dealing with the crap I get from my friends about it. Especially since, like, they all just assume I stopped reading manga after I joined the literature club. Not that I'm trying to hide it from them exactly. But I just don't want to come... But I just don't want it to come up again now after I've waited so long for this new volume to come out. Literally months at this point. You don't have other friends who are into manga? Not unless online friends count. And Sayori, but that's different because she's not exactly into it. She just likes it. You know what I mean? Honestly, you're lucky that the books you're into at least just look like books. So you don't have to feel like everyone's constantly judging you by what you're reading. That would be so awful. Especially since I already hate attention so much. Well, it's a good thing I have this thick skin, I guess. By the way, I would totally recommend finding some friends online if you haven't already. If you're like me and know one to share your hobbies with. Oh, I have online friends. Since middle school, actually. I was especially desperate back then. It's somewhat embarrassing to reminisce about those days. Sometimes I feel like the me from a few years ago would have benefited from a good smack across the face. Oh, whatever. We were all just stupid kids back then anyway. Some of the fanfics I wrote, thank God I used a pseudonym. But I liked it at that time. I got a lot of fulfillment out of it. And plus, I can look back and say with confidence I've become a better person since then. So I don't think I would change anything. I wonder if a few years from now, we'll think the same thing about our current selves. Probably. That doesn't make you uncomfortable? No, of course not. I don't care what other people think of me, especially someone who doesn't even exist yet. Alright, here. Natsuki raises her hand to her face and forcefully slaps her on cheek. That's me from the future coming to terms with me right now. Also, ow! I didn't mean to do it that hard. Yuri doesn't seem to react. But then, to Natsuki's surprise, Yuri shyly looks the other way before lifting her arm and doing the same thing to herself, loudly smacking her cheek. She turns red and stares into her lap, but isn't able to hide a smile, as though it was a really funny joke. What's wrong with me? Oh, that's what I'm talking about. I didn't know you had it in you. I don't. I don't even know why I did that. Maybe I thought it would be funny? Sorry, I keep distracting you. You said you were looking forward to reading, but I keep going on about all this nonsense. I'll let you get to your reading. Oh, right. Yeah, I guess I'll do that then. The conversation ends quickly and Natsuki opens her book. My voices have failed within the past 3 hours. The two read silently for the remainder of the lunch hour. But the whole time Yuri feels distracted by a twist of regret over having abruptly forced... Can I speak today? Or having so abruptly forced the end of the conversation? The answer is no, I cannot speak today. You're back. Yeah, I'm here to lay low again. Another day has passed. During lunchtime, Natsuki finds herself having wandered to the stairwell once more. Hey, did you buy that? Natsuki quickly notices a bottle of iced tea on the staircase where she normally sits. Yuri nods, avoiding eye contact. What, like for me? But you didn't know I was coming here today. What if I didn't show up? Well, I would have drank it myself, I guess. It was a stupid thing to do. No, it wasn't stupid. I just thought, never mind. What I meant to say is thank you. And that's a really nice gesture. It's okay if you don't feel that way. I do. It was the other things I didn't mean. I swear. Please believe me. Yuri pauses, then nods. Talking is hard. I get it wrong a lot too. So I believe you. Natsuki exhales in relief. She then sits down next to Yuri and takes the drink. Knowing Yuri, she was probably overthinking it so much that Natsuki's tepid response filled her with self-doubt. I'll do something nice for you next time. Please, don't feel I was so close. Please, don't feel obligated. I want to. I want to do nice things too. Okay. Thank you. You can thank me after I figure out how to do something nice. I'll do it then, too. Natsuki sighs. Nothing. Just reminds me how I haven't been getting along with my friends lately. Is that why you've been coming here? Well, no, not exactly. I haven't been avoiding them on purpose or anything. They're just other things I'd rather be doing during lunch lately. I like being around them when we're all just having fun, but they also just can't take anything seriously. So when I'm, being serious, then their attitudes just really get on my nerves. It's only gotten worse since I joined the literature club. How come? I don't know. I feel like I used to be really good with just putting up with it because it would be so stupid to cause drama over a joke I didn't like or something. But I just have a hard time doing that lately. But it's my fault for being overly sensitive. If I have a problem, I'm not gonna demand for everyone around me to change. But, yeah, I know. Monika and Sayori really don't agree with that kind of thing. But they're not in my position, so it's easy for them to say what they... My brain's on overload. But they're not in my position, so it's easy for them to say that you should just communicate your feelings or whatever. It's not like my friend group does that kind of thing. I would just be making an embarrassment of myself. Sorry, none of this has anything to do with you. I don't know why I'm even talking about it. It's okay. I like listening. What? Listening to other people's problems? Yes. That's weird. Sorry. I just like learning about people. Do you think it's weird? No, that's not weird. I just misunderstood, so... I don't know. Does that mean I should keep going? If you'd like. Okay. Well, I don't know what to talk about now. What are some things that you like about your friends? A lot of things. I mean, they're really fun to hang out with. Like after school and on the weekends. And they really like my baking. And it's fun to complain about school together. They make me laugh a lot, and we have a lot of good memories and inside jokes. Oh. I'm bad at a lot of those things. So? Are those all things that are important to you? Well, kind of, but they're not things I need to get out of everybody. Everyone in the club is really different from that, but I'm still friends with them too. Well, Sayori really likes your baking. And she makes you laugh. And she complains a lot. That doesn't mean she's anything like my other friends. Well, unlike them, she's a nice person who cares about your feelings. Excuse me? How about you don't talk that way about my friends and that you don't know anything about? Natsuki stands up. No, wait. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. I didn't want to say something bad. Please, don't leave. Natsuki sighs and shakes her head. It's like a 50-50 chance. Either they get along or they clash heads. There is no in between. But it's funny because it's like they're both speaking different versions of English and it syncs up perfectly. Gosh dang it. It's fine. As long as you understand that you can't just judge people like that. I'm sorry. Natsuki sits back down. And plus, Natsuki, I'm pretty sure Yuri is correct. You can't just compare friends like that and, like, measure who's better than who. Everyone's different. I'm sorry. I just don't like people who want to hurt you. A moment of silence stretches between them. They don't want to hurt me. We just like to tease each other about stupid things. It's fun. I don't like that. Well, that's why I'm friend with them and you're not. You like it? Just don't worry so much about me. It's not worth it. I'm sorry. I wish I knew how to help with social conflicts. Like how Monika can. She's good at these things. Not really. Also, I don't always want help. Sometimes it's just stuff I have to deal with myself. That's what Monika and Sayori never seem to understand. Sometimes all you do is look... Whoa. Sometimes all you do is look them wrong and they're all like, "Ah, that's what's wrong? Is everything okay?" I just want to mind my own business sometimes and decide myself if I want to talk about things. The only one who understands that is you. So you really shouldn't be so hard on yourself. You're not as bad as you think. Oh, you don't need to reassure me or anything. I mean that. Plus, it makes sense that someone who doesn't talk a lot would make a good listener. Thank you. You're also nice. It's really hard for me. It doesn't come naturally at all. It's so weird because I always thought of myself as someone who can just say whatever's on my mind. But I feel like that only works when I'm annoyed or upset or I want to say something mean. Why am I like that? You don't have to answer that. I'm just talking to myself. Yuri nods and remains silent. Natsuki notices her fidgeting with the pages of her book. How come you like reading so much? Oh, well, a lot of reasons, but I just get sucked into it so easily. It's so immersive, like I want to be a part of it. I think there are a lot of things about people in real life that make me feel uncomfortable and frustrated, especially when it comes to following social conventions and group interactions. I just don't really understand it, and I have no real desire to participate. But it's different with books. It feels like I always want to be around the characters. I feel such a strong emotional connection with them in ways I've never felt with real people. So, in that way, it can sometimes feel more real than real life. Really? It's that hard for you to be around people? Like, all the time? Fairly often. Especially in group settings. When people are making all kinds of conversation and saying jokes and all of that, I don't know what to do. And I just disengage. Oh. That doesn't get lonely? I don't think so. I can still enjoy spending time with people one-on-one, and I have online friends too, of course. Do you ever wish that you could be friends with the characters in your books? All the time. sometimes so badly that it makes my heart ache. Yeah, me too. Really? Mm-hmm. A lot. Like, more than anything. After Natsuki mutters that, silence fills the stairwell once more. But it's a mutual silence. One full of understanding. Oh my god. See, I never noticed in the main story that it really didn't hit me that they were such similar characters. They always hit me as very different people, but they're very similar. And I am invested. Let's go. And let's see if my voice will get any better. Hey. Oh, hello. I almost thought you weren't coming today. Yeah, well, lunch is already more than halfway over. Natsuki had typically been meeting Yuri in the stairwell much earlier, since it had been a good way of dodging her friends when she didn't feel like seeing them. Today she's holding a large plastic container in both hands. I ran into my friends, so I hung out with them for a while. Is that so? Yeah. I was in a good mood today, so I figured I should. I hadn't seen them in a while, which I had to come up with an excuse for, but I expected that. Plus, I have way more of these than I know what to do with, so I figured I'd share it with them too. As she sits down, Natsuki opens the lid of her container. You made cupcakes? You know it. It's been a while at this point, so I figured it was about time again. You can take one if you want. Yuri takes a cupcake and carefully twirls it between her fingers. It's brown, with dark green frosting immaculately shaped into a floral pattern and topped with some kind of glittery powder. How pretty. I just ate, so I may not be able to finish it. Are they for the club? Yeah, I guess so. I didn't really think about it, I just made them. Ah, I just thought that because green is Monika's favorite color, right? Yeah, well, yeah, but that's not really... Yuri takes a small bite. This is green tea flavored. I love green tea. I hate vehicles. Oh, do you? It was just a random idea I wanted to try, so... Don't laugh at me. I'm not. I just felt happy. Oh, sorry. Usually when... Never mind. What I meant is that I'm glad. Sorry for saying dumb things again. I just wanted to do something nice. And this is something I happen to be good at. And I do know that you like them from past experience. Yuri turns red, recalling the time she treated herself rather generously to Natsuki's cupcakes. Ironically, her mouth is too full of cupcake for her to stammer an excuse, so she just settles for a disapproving look. How did you get into baking? Oh, well, I don't know. It just kinda always appealed to me. Well, a few years ago, I read this one manga with a lot of baking, so I got like super into it for a while. I was probably making stuff almost every day. But it's something that I always knew I liked anyway. It's like, baking is like art. But when you get good at it, it gets more delicious too. I'm struggling to imagine myself putting my heart into something so artistic, knowing that it would just be eaten afterwards. Yeah, maybe you're too practical for it. I think I prefer to be on the receiving end. That's my other favorite part about it. Something I can do that makes a lot of people happy, like unconditionally. Everyone's always so thankful, and in that moment, you get to be like the bringer of joy. I don't know, it just makes me feel valued? Yeah, I guess that. So, you were able to make up with your friends today? There wasn't really anything to make up with them about. We weren't fighting or anything. You weren't? Maybe I misunderstood. It only turns into a fight if I lose my cool. And that's just unnecessary drama. It only makes things worse. So, they're not going to stop? I mean, it only happens sometimes anyways. It's just the way they are. I'm the only one who ever has a problem with it. It's not worth it. Especially since I have somewhere to go now when I don't feel like hanging out with them. Oh, I see. Cupcakes' empty foil wrapper audibly crinkles as Yuri clenches a fist. I'm glad that the situation is resolved. And that you don't have to avoid them anymore. Yeah, me too. And I don't have to bother you during your alone time anymore. I'm sure you have a lot of reading to catch up on. Yeah. I know that the cupcakes are basically nothing compared to all the stuff you've done for me. But it's the best I can do. So you can have the rest of them. Natsuki grabs the box and slides it over to Yuri's feet. Yuri stares at the box. Then she shakes her head and slides them back. You should save them for your other friends. But I made them for you. Natsuki's voice whines as she protests. I know. And I liked them very much, exactly as you thought. You succeeded. But I know you care about making your other friends happy too. And if this is the way you know how to make that happen, then I'm not going to take it from you. No, they were for making you happy. You make me happy. You're worth more than cupcakes to some people. That's why they want to spend time with you and be your friend. Without warning, tears pour from Natsuki's eyes. She pulls her knees to her chest and starts sobbing into her arms. Natsuki, I'm such a bad person. Yuri stammers, feeling panicked. I didn't mean to say something bad. Natsuki shakes her head and wipes her eyes. You didn't. Natsuki tries to choke back the sobs, but struggles to speak through them. I just really hate myself sometimes. And it feels so wrong when you say those nice things to me. Like I don't deserve it. I'm sorry. No, I am. I'm so difficult. And I can't think of even a single thing about myself that somebody would like. And I hated myself for bothering you during lunch. I just thought it was my chance to be a good person. Like to be nice and do the things you wrote about in the letter. I knew if I tried in the club, Sayori and Monika would be super annoying and make a huge deal out of it. you know, I think a lot of those negative things too about myself. I never felt like a good person. I always scrutinize everything I say. And later, I feel like I said the wrong things. And I just spend so much time thinking about myself, hating myself, and feeling like everyone else must hate me too. So, I understand some of that through my own experience. And that's why I wanted to write the letter and express my feelings. It pained me to see those things in someone else that I saw in myself. Natsuki sniffles. Yuri rustles through her bag and pulls out some tissues, then hands them to Natsuki. Monika told me that it takes a good person to reflect on these things. The desire to improve yourself that makes you a good person. So don't worry so much. Also, there are things about you that people would like, so... Like what? Like how you're fun for people to be around. And you're not shy. And you know how to make people laugh. And you're very passionate about things. And you know how to take the lead. And you care a lot about other people. And just a lot of things. Oh. Well, now you're making me feel really embarrassed. Well, you're the one who asked. And don't you think I feel embarrassed? Natsuki tries to hide a smile, and she sighs as it fades again. Every time I come here, I always think it's the last time. But then I keep coming back for some reason. Is that bad? Just really confusing. I mean, my friends and I go way back, so ditching them all the time feels like, I don't know. Feels like what? Natsuki's voice gets quiet. Maybe I'm scared that they'll get mad at me. I really don't know what to do. She pauses. Yuri stares into the distance, tracing her eyes along the patterns of the floor tiles, while she thinks to herself. What would you do, hypothetically, if your friends were happy for you instead of mad at you? Happy for what? Happy that your new club is making you happy. Well, that's just not a fair hypothetical. Natsuki says that, but with little confidence in her voice. I always tell myself that I don't rely on the approval of others to be happy. And I still feel that way, but I'm spending time with people who put me down whenever I don't have their approval. That's probably what makes me feel so confused. Because I'm threatened of the things that should make me happy. So no matter what, it's like I have to be unhappy to be happy. It's making my head hurt. That must make it really difficult to feel comfortable with yourself. Being made to feel like you're wrong just for being the person you are. It really goes against everything I believe in, doesn't it? Goes against the kind of person I want to be. I'm fed up with it. I'm fed up with a lot of things. Natsuki presses her palms into her forehead and shakes her head. I know what's best for me, but I keep convincing myself out of it. It's so much easier to be comfortably unhappy than it is to do something so scary. To do what? You know, to end it. With them? Natsuki nods. I didn't think you were actively considering that as an option. I wasn't until recently. It's just one of those things where, like, it's been a certain way for so long that you just get used to it. Like, so much of you has gone into it. So much that it feels like that's just how your life is. And throwing it away is like throwing away such a big part of your life. Makes me feel sick to think about it. Natsuki sighs. It's just really scary. It's terrifying. What are you scared of? I don't know. A lot of things. Like being alone. Not having anyone to talk to or hang out with. Not being able to replace what I have with them. And I don't want them to hate me. And I'm scared they'll hurt me for going against them. Physically? Not physically. But Yuri clenches her fists. Natsuki? What? If anyone even thinks to cause you harm, I will unleash hell upon them. Natsuki snorts in laughter. Yuri is very good at the deadpan jokes, and I love it. Don't laugh at me. Sorry, I liked that. That's all. Oh, well, I meant it. I know you did. Natsuki gives Yuri an endearing look. I needed it. As the conversation lapses, Natsuki again slides her box of cupcakes over to Yuri. Just take them, okay? I don't want other people to have them anymore. Are you sure? Natsuki nods. I'm sure. I will then. I'll enjoy them. Natsuki looks away, but a feeling of warmth spreads through her. She nods on to that feeling, knowing it will give her courage. Ah, you're here first today. And you brought reading material. Natsuki is sitting in her usual spot, this time holding a volume of manga with her. Wow. While her lunch sits beside her, Yuri sits down as well and opens her own book. Sucks when a good series has to come to an end. Like it's such a big part of your life, and then one day, there's just nothing left. It makes you feel so empty. Unfortunately, I'm about to experience that myself. I'm on the last book of this series. That sucks. But there's also something satisfying about letting a story conclude. I don't know if I'd want it to go on forever. Maybe. But there's some things I wish I could. On the other hand, have you ever read something that overstayed its welcome? Yeah, definitely. I can think of at least one thing that I've read that got pretty unbearable like halfway through, and the ending really sucked. So, it sucks when something good has to end, but it also sucks when they just keep inventing more plot until you don't like it anymore. I guess it sucks either way. Well, that's the nature of all things. They come to an end. The two fall silent. They slowly eat while making their way through their respective reading material. Except Natsuki doesn't seem to be touching her food at all. You don't go out during the weekends, right? Excuse me? Like with friends, at the mall, or downtown, or whatever? I'm not a total shut-in, you know. Oh, my bad for making assumptions. Well, I'm sure I go out less often than other people, like you and the others in the club. I don't really meet with friends and arbitrarily spend time like that. I'm usually meeting with my board game group. Board game group? It doesn't matter. It's just more nerdy stuff. Why do you ask anyway? I was just curious. I just realized I couldn't picture it, so I was just curious. Yuri looks at Natsuki and realizes that she's shaking. Don't look at me like that. Sorry. Natsuki pulls her knees to her chest and puts her head down. I can't take this. Did I do something? Yuri gets flustered, her mind racing over what she may have said or done. I did. I ended it. I texted them earlier, telling them. And then I just blocked them because I'm afraid of their responses. And now it feels like I'm dying inside. Oh. That's... I'm sorry. Totally unsure of what to do, Yuri can barely find any words of support to offer. Meanwhile, the sound of Natsuki's unusually hard breathing fills the air. Then she speaks again, barely above a whisper. Help me. I feel sick, and I want to hit my head against things. Please help. I can't take this. You may be having a panic attack. With that realization, Yuri's demeanor suddenly changes. I have experience with this, so I'll help you through it, okay? Natsuki meekly nods through a rapid breath, head still buried in her knees. Yuri slides herself over to Natsuki and sits on the step beside her. Then she puts her hand on Natsuki's shoulders. Can you feel my hands? Natsuki nods her head. Her shaking becomes much more apparent through Yuri's sense of touch. Yuri keeps her voice low and gentle. You're safe right now. You're in a good and safe place, where nothing can hurt you. Natsuki nods once more. Although Yuri is only touching Natsuki's shoulders, she can practically feel her racing pulse through the base of her neck. We'll do a breathing exercise together. All you have to do is listen to my breaths and breathe along with me. Let's breathe in now. Yuri takes a deep, slow breath. Beneath her hands, she feels Natsuki's shoulders rise as Natsuki takes a breath of her own, trying to mimic Yuri. They exhale together, although Natsuki's breath shakes on the way out. That's good. Let's keep going. Yuri breathes in once more, and Natsuki joins her. They continue like that for a while, for a few more cycles while Yuri closely monitors. Eventually, Yuri feels Natsuki rest more of her weight into Yuri's palms. Let's focus on the physical world. All you have to do is focus on the feeling of your breaths going in and out, and the weight of my hand on your shoulders. You're in a safe and comfortable physical space. Minutes pass in silence. By now, the worst of it had passed, but Yuri is determined not to move away until Natsuki prompts her to. Meanwhile, Natsuki has lifted her head off of her knees, and her breathing is mostly steadied. Then, she takes a final deep breath and slowly pulls herself to her feet, causing Yuri to let go. She stretches her arms. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to freak out. I don't know what my deal is. You don't have to apologize. This must be enormously stressful for you. Is that going to keep happening? It may, or it may not. We can take measures to help prevent it in the future, but I think it will naturally get better over time. Natsuki motions to sit back down again, so Yuri moves over. Yuri turns away to pick up her open book from the dusty floor, where she had hastily set down earlier. She brushes the dust off the cover. I don't think I could have gotten through that alone. You're not alone. Feeling shy again, Yuri speaks into her own lap. From now on, you don't have to do anything alone. As she says that, Yuri tenses up. It's rare for her to so openly share her thoughts. But something about Natsuki of all people makes it feel so much more natural to do so. Perhaps because, like Yuri, Natsuki is so timid and uncertain of herself. Natsuki does such a good job at hiding it, and it's taken a long time for Yuri to finally realize it. And because of that, Yuri is able to deliver the reassurance that she herself would have wanted, demonstrating that you deserve the love of others. If you can accept that for the first time, then perhaps you can begin the tumultuous journey of learning to love yourself. Do you really mean that? You're probably gonna regret saying that if you do. How so? Because I'm probably gonna have a lot of free time during the weekends from now on. So you're giving me permission to be as annoying as I want to drag you around to a lot of places. I see. But you already said it, so you can't take it back now. Ah. Well, I suppose I have no choice but to accept that, Well, I suppose I have no choice but to accept that responsibility, then. Mm-hmm. I know a good ice cream place. Oh? That means you'll finally figure out my favorite ice cream flavor. Huh? What are you talking about? Oh, you don't remember? The first day that you came to the club, you guessed everyone's favorite ice cream flavor. But for me, you said you had no idea. Seriously? I don't remember that at all. Oh wait, yes I do. I said probably green tea. Yuri shakes her head. It's a good guess, but my favorite is usually to get chocolate and raspberry together. Chocolate and raspberry? How fancy. How is that fancy? Oh, I don't know. I feel like I should have guessed something like that. Well, maybe next time I'll try chocolate and strawberry. Hey, strawberry is my favorite. Gosh, dang it. What a coincidence. I think it helps to have something to look forward to. I still have this sick feeling in my stomach. But it's easier now to convince myself that I did the right thing. Is there anything better I could be doing? Not that I know of. There's nothing that will make this easy for me. And you already did more than I thought anyone could. Come to think of it, we never talked about the letter you wrote. But I feel like we're way past that at this point. I don't even know what to talk about. Except that I think it helped me understand my needs a little bit better. The way I like to be treated. And the kinds of friends that I want to have. That's why I wanted to start coming here in the first place. Even though I was so scared of causing more problems. I thought it was a coincidence that you ran into me here initially. Oh, well, not exactly. What do you mean? Nothing. I may have tracked you down first, with the help of Sayori. But you said... I was shy, okay? I wasn't ready to, whatever. You know what I'm saying. Well, I guess I'm glad that you worked up the courage. Even if it was in your own way. I can tell that you've been making a lot of difficult decisions. It's brave, and it'll make things better in the long run. I think anyone would be proud of you for it. Anyone? You mean, like you? Yes. Like me. You know, I could get used to this. As long as you don't tease me too much. Fine. Wow, I did read that wrong. As long as you don't tease me too much. Fine. Just a little, then. That's fine. I know how uncertain everything feels to you right now. But I really do think that good things are in store. Those are my honest feelings. Thanks. Feels nice to be reassured. The two girls continue their conversation through the remainder of lunch. But a new feeling hangs in the air. Feeling of greater certainty in the path forward. In just a few hours, there will be another literature club meeting, where the 4 club members will happily spend time together. Each of them, all with their own special qualities, have something unique that they can deliver to one another. Through friendship and literature, the club members will continue to grow and find new happiness together. The end of each chapter is the start of the next. Yuri thinks to herself, since she is about to finish her long-running series, it would be best to have a new book lined up. Perhaps this weekend would be a good time to visit the bookstore. Together. That was nice. Stupid controller. Hello. Oh God. Chapter 7. Uh-oh. Well, what are we waiting for? This controller should not die. I hope. Actually, we can check that easily. Right, let's go. Okay, everyone. We're going to be taking a break from the usual activities today. I was thinking since people are starting to talk about the festival, it's a good time for us to go over the general direction for the club and all that. I think it'll help us figure out what to do for the festival, you know? Oh, Sayori and I already came up with a really good plan. Really? For the festival? Yeah, so the plan is this, okay? You and Yuri collect information ahead of time on which club and classes are doing food booths. Then, we take a map and plan the most effective route, so we can get the most out of them before the lines would get too long. Hey, that has nothing to do with the club. Natsuki and Sayori just want food. That's all this is. Well, you have to let me finish. Alright, fine, go ahead. Right, so basically, we get all the food we can, then we come back here, and we all eat together. That's all. Wow, I got tricked twice by the same joke. Pooh, don't be a hater. It's not like you can come up with anything better. Look, even Yuri was thinking about it. No, I wasn't. I would really prefer to do something literature related. We can eat together anytime. The festival is a unique opportunity. Besides, it's been quite a while since we've had any new interests in the club. Yep, I was thinking the same thing. We really get a shot at showing people what the literature club is all about. I'll tell you what, we can do both, right? We'll make time for your food mission and still put together a public event. Oh my gosh, yes! I was just joking, but that's a really good idea. Well, I'm glad that's settled. I think the question is how to come up with an event that demonstrates everything you can get out of the literature club. Well, that's kind of tough because everyone gets something different out of the club. Okay, how about this? Let's go around and have each of us talk about what we've gotten out of the club so far. That could really help us figure out what kind of reputation we want to build. Yeah! That's too embarrassing. Aw, but you have so much to talk about. That's exactly why. And I'm sure Natsuki feels the same way. Well, maybe, but I didn't plan on arguing against it or anything. I mean, it's a literature club. We talk about that stuff together, right? And the only way to get more comfortable with it is to suck it up and do it. Oh. You're not wrong. I'm sorry for feeling resistant. It's not good to say suck it up because it sounds like their feelings don't matter. Right, my bad. It's just a habit I need to break. Well, anyway, who's gonna start? I'll start. I was the first to join after all. Would that be me? No, I want to go first. Fine, you can start. I don't mind. Yay! So, gosh, it feels like so long ago. I think I joined because I wanted to have fun sharing poems with people. Seems like it would be a safe way to express myself, you know? Like it's just a poem. Then I can share it without feeling like I'm burdening everyone with my problems. And I thought it would be a really good way to get to know other people too. So yeah, I was really surprised when I walked in and it was just Monika. And she was sleeping. Don't remind me of that. Oh gosh. Yeah, but it seems like so much fun to help start a new club. Especially since writing helps me so much. I wanted to see it help other people too. But it ended up being me who was inspired. Because I remember feeling like Monika was just so sweet and mature. And that I could trust her with anything. It made me feel a lot less alone, having someone who knew even the bad things about me. that point, I knew the literature club was going to be special for a lot of people. Yep, I felt the same way. It really helped give the club more cohesive vision. Yeah, and then Yuri joined, but she was so different from us, and Natsuki too. I think for Yuri, it really helped me to take the lead before she was able to open up a little. But Natsuki was kind of the opposite, where she wasn't ready to get really close to someone really quickly. I never really thought about that sort of thing. I really felt like I've gotten better at understanding people's different needs. And that makes me really happy, because my friends are just the most important thing to me. And whatever new members we get, I want to help them in those ways too. I don't know if I would have continued coming to the club if it weren't for you. Really? I know it wasn't too long ago, but it hurts to think about my behavior back then. I was really short-sighted. The only reason I came was to find others who were into fantasy. I suppose that was my idea of making friends with people. And I remember feeling uncomfortable because you and I have such different energy. I had such a specific idea of the kind of person I could be friends with. So when Sayori tried so hard to get to know me, I felt like I was just wasting her time. I think I was naive to assume that similar interests were the key component of friendship. Sayori and I were able to be friends because she always thinks about the needs of other people. That's something I never knew how to do, or even thought to do. But I stayed in the club, thanks to that, and I started trying as hard as I could to understand people better. You really went above and beyond when it came to that. I was just super impressed. Well, I always hated that I didn't know how to behave like a person who's really liked by others, like the two of you can. And because of that, I spent so much time thinking about my own behavior and all the wrong things I said. But the whole time, I should have been thinking about other people instead, not myself. Once I started doing that, I was able to make friends with everyone else. Oh, also, I discovered that sometimes I'm a better communicator when I take the time to write, rather than speak. It's so strange the way things turned out. So far different from anything I would have ever expected. But I'm happy. I suppose we don't always know what we really need. Oh my gosh! You're so cute that I'm gonna throw up! Okay, please don't do that, Sayori. Besides, I'm not cute. Hey, isn't that my line? Oh. Well, for me it's actually true, so... What are you saying? Nothing. I finished my part, so somebody else take their turn. My heart! Sayori, take some deep breaths. Okay, fine, I'll go. Yuri, I can't believe you were complaining about doing this and still went before me. What a show-off. I was just following up on Sayori. It was the easiest way to get it over with. Besides, you left out the most important thing that you get out of this club. I did? Yeah, a regular supply of your favorite cupcakes. Oh no, I forgot that too. I'm a traitor to the Cupcake Queen. Neither of you are forgiven. Looks like Monika will be getting the cupcakes next time. No! I can't eat that many cupcakes. Yeah, true. Only Yuri can. Hey, well, anyway, I'm just putting off talking. kinda hard to talk about this stuff. But I guess what it comes down to is that I'm in a much better place mentally than I was when I first joined. And that's because everyone helped me realize I had some really toxic friendships going on outside the club. It was honestly a really painful thing to go through. Having to cut them out still hurts to think about. I'm sorry, Natsuki. It's fine. I knew it was for the best, and I was right. I guess for me, it's all about feelings. I was only ever ridiculed for having feelings, so I thought the right thing to do was to just ignore them. It took me a really long time to realize that it's not really how things are supposed to work. And I guess that's thanks to everyone who took the time to respect my feelings, even when I was being the biggest jerk. I'm really sorry for being such a jerk to everyone. I was really the worst. Natsuki's voice chokes a little. We love you, Natsuki. I just hate that I was like that. Everyone did so much for me, and I could never do anything in return. That's not true. Natsuki, you've done a lot more than you think. This club really wouldn't have been the same without you. I mean that. Remember how judgmental I was when you first showed up? It was like I couldn't accept anything other than my own idea of what a literature club was supposed to be. Apparently, that was more important to me than the opportunity to bring you some happiness. You really taught me that anything can make someone happy. You really taught me that anything that makes someone happy is worthy of respect. You even inspired me to start playing piano. That's something that means a whole lot to me. So there's no need to put yourself down. Okay. Natsuki wipes her eyes. You helped me out a lot too. It's so much fun to have around. I can speak. It's so much fun to have you around. And you've helped me become a better person. Having a problem doesn't make you needy or inconvenient. It means that there's something that needs to be better for you. And you always deserve that. I agree. Seeing us have some of the same struggles made me a better person as well. I wouldn't want to change anything about our time here. I don't think any of us would. I'm sorry I got all dramatic again. That's all I wanted to say, so Monika can go now. There's no need to apologize. It was something I wanted to talk about. Anyway, because it made a big difference for me. I was always such a strict perfectionist who never took time. I was always such a strict perfectionist who never took enough time to believe in the best of other people. But everyone kept proving me wrong. I made the mistake multiple times thinking that my way was the best for everyone. Or thinking that I was needed to solve other people's problems. But I think being a leader means you have to... But I think being a leader means that you have to acknowledge that you're not perfect. And that the best thing you can do is to help guide people rather than to do everything for them. We're all good people. We're all equals. I think that's the most important thing I've gotten out of the club. Realizing what that really means. Sayori, what are you doing? I just thought that we should be writing some of these things down. Things about the club that are valuable to us. With a piece of chalk in her hand, Sayori writes down the word trust on the chalkboard. This is because you showed me that I could trust you with everything about me, not just my good side. Suddenly, Yuri takes a piece of chalk as well. She writes, understanding. I owe a lot of gratitude to everyone who took the time to understand me, even though it was so difficult for me to express myself. In that case, Monika takes a piece of chalk as well and writes the word respect. I always thought I was a respectful person, but it took the club for me to realize that there was more to it than I thought. And I'm a better person because of it. I have another one. Sayori writes balance. Sometimes people want different things out of a friendship. Or they need time before they're ready to become close. So it's important to keep things balanced between you and the other person. That reminds me. Yuri writes reflection. I've always been a reflective person, but most of it has been nothing more than hating myself for all the things I thought I did wrong. Once I started reflecting on other people, and not just myself, a lot of things changed for me. So I think that's the most important one for me. That's great, we have a whole list of things now. Suddenly, everyone turns to look at Natsuki. Well, everyone took all the chalk. Don't look at me like that, jeez. You could have just asked. Monika hands her piece of chalk to Natsuki. The Natsuki sighs and writes self-love. I don't know how far I've gotten with it yet, but feels like things are at least on the right track. So there, that's my contribution. Together, everyone stares at the words on the board. Wasn't this club supposed to be about literature? It is. We still do a lot of literature. Friendship and literature. Yeah, you're right. Friendship and literature. Natsuki and Yuri gently nod as well. Hey, let's all take a picture together. We don't have one yet, right? Hey, you're right. Make sure you send it to me after. Wait, can I brush my hair first or something? Oh, you're fine. You already have the best hair out of all of us. Everyone, get together. I can't fit you all in. Okay, everyone ready? And click. I'm really glad we talked about this stuff. It's easy to forget how far we've come with only 4 members. Yeah. I have so many happy thoughts right now. I'm getting some really good inspiration for a poem. You know, I feel the same way. I kind of want to get some writing done. Me too. I think I would like that as well. Everyone's looking at me again. I'll do it too, but I might not feel like sharing it. That's okay. The 4 members of the literature club disperse and return to their desks, each equipping themselves with a pen. Natsuki and Yuri give each other a quick glance, then start writing immediately. Sayori stretches, then does the same. But Monika is left tapping her pen against her paper, unsure of where to start. Just move your hand. Monika mouths to herself. Right the way into your heart. Her mind full of thoughts, memories, and inspiration, Monika navigates past her mental barriers and begins to write. It doesn't matter what, just said something new. Oh my god. isn't the end, is it? Because I thought there was supposed to be one more chapter. And can I just say, my favorite piece of music from this whole game, probably the really sad music that they put in the plus stories. That's the one that hits me the hardest, holy. That was a very wholesome ending. We didn't even have any clashes in that chapter. That was all just heartwarming and friendship. Thank you, dear player, for enjoying our story of friendship and literature. A picture! Nice. That was a good picture. That's really the final one. Oh, I'm doing research. I'm definitely doing research. I could have sworn people said there was a chapter 8. I'm looking. So far not succeeding. No, it looks like this is the final one. Which would make sense considering it gave us credit. I really could have sworn that I read that there was another one, though. I want to play this. I want to play the sad music real quick. I want to see if I can find it. Dusk. Oh my god. Get it away. Get it away. It hits my heart too much and it makes me sad. That was really good though. I'm happy that they made the last chapter wholesome. That was really nice. Right now I'm checking to see if there's anything we're missing. We're missing a few things. I'm missing quite a few pictures. Most the important one is we're just missing 2 of the secrets that I'll have no clue of how to get to, so we probably won't worry about. We have more emails to go through. Let's go through those real quick. I just noticed them. Oh my god, I have the music playing. Now we're gonna play Dusk. As we go through the emails. Having run the control simulation for a while, it's evident that a certain character is missing from any mention or appearance. This makes me speculate that Monika's meddling is less clumsy than we think. Because she would have had to manufacture this character herself as a way of forcing interaction between her and the user. Could that be why the character has such limited and dissonant personality traits? Or am I reading too much into this? I'll open an issue to start tracking info and observations on the anomaly of this character appearing. I'm a little confused, but okay. Let's go to number 2. Okay, who's responsible for creating a Twitter account for Monika? I think it's hilarious, but for God's sake, don't tell Paula. I would get 404 in a microsecond. Are you just relaying her tweets manually, or did you code some kind of pass-through layer to automate it? Based on the contents of the tweets. Example, not screaming for help. I assume if they're coming from the control simulation. All of these are from 2019. What is going on? As a reminder to help guide our data collection, any analysis performed should be focused on answering some of these main questions. How does granting elevated access to the VM affect a person's emotional state? How does granting elevated access to the VM affect a person's values and goals? How does someone effectively navigate and experiment with their ability to change the contents of their VM? How is elevated access being weaponized? What actions and values most contribute to the destruction of the universe? Most importantly, how might your observations apply to our own universe? Bonus, how can we represent this upper management as an operation that benefits the company? Unrelated note, whoever changed the color scheme of the desktop to pink, can you please change it back? It's unprofessional and it ruins the risk of drawing eyes. Nice. I just realized I read these in the wrong order. That's fine, we'll keep doing so. Simply put, it's not our job to arbitrarily decide upon some code of ethics just because we're the first ones to do this, to our knowledge. That's the government's job to figure out, long after we've made enough headway for it to no longer apply to us. It's fundamentally flawed to apply ethical reasoning to this anyway. Because humanity's code of ethics is based upon nothing more than our knowledge and understanding of life forms similar to ourselves. We don't have ethics for killing bacteria or plants, only for creatures that we can convincingly project our emotions onto. The humans in our VMs operate completely differently from us on a fundamental level, and therefore should be not taken any more seriously than a machine that's programmed to print. I feel sad. We're engineers, not philosophers. That's funny. Has anyone evaluated the side effects that might be caused by sharing a memory pool between multiple VMs, rather than allocating them separately? I'm looking at some of the files VM1 is generating, and I'm finding some information that definitely shouldn't be there. I haven't seen any evidence that it actually affecting the inside of the VM itself, so I don't think it's a priority, but it's definitely worth noting. My best guess is that the memory being freed from VM2 isn't getting zeroed out. which technically gives VM1 access to it. All the info I have will go to the issue tracker, but I wanted to check if anyone else already noticed something along these lines. Well, that was nice and confusing. Okay. So now I think we're good. I really don't understand the emails. Some of them I understand. Other ones it's just like, eh? Why am I reading this? My lord. That was nice. That fine. Oh my god, that chapter with Yuri and Natsuki. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know why my voice decided to deteriorate. No, what I love is when I streamed this earlier today, I feel like my voice was pretty consistent with what I did like 3 weeks before. But go 3 hours later, and I cannot recreate consistently. Does it make sense? No. Is that where we are? Yeah. That's annoying. But we got through it, and it was a cute story, and I loved it. Would have been nice if controller didn't ruin it most of the way through by saying it was on low battery. And then dying. I'm just happy I didn't die in the super emotional moment. That would have made me angry. Very angry. Okay. I'm thinking that's all that we will do today. I talked about stuff earlier, and I'll talk about some of it again, probably. So, next time I will be here, I don't know. Hopefully someone will come and stream for you guys next week. We'll see. But, next for me, I have a few games lined up that we can play that seem kind of fun. I've been doing some research for that, so stay tuned on that. The others have been getting creative, trying to figure out other types of content than just straight up gameplays. We've all been wanting to do more of that sort of stuff for a long time. For me, I'm fine with just playing games for a while because this is the first game I've gotten to play on this channel. So, I think I'll probably keep up that trend because aside from that, I'm not sure what I would really do. The others are coming up with really good ideas for themselves, though. So hopefully they start deciding to do that stuff soon. That would be nice. No, all of us being more consistent on here would be better more than anything because last time we streamed before today was about 3 weeks ago. And that's when I streamed, and then in the middle of the stream, internet went out. And didn't come back on for a very long time. That was upsetting. Because otherwise, all of this probably would have been done that day. I'm pretty sure that would have been the case. Because all the further we got on that day was I got through most of the way of part 2 of chapter 1. And I noticed probably about halfway to 3/4 of the way through that my internet had gone out and nothing was warning me. I wasn't getting warned of dropped frames. I didn't see anything on the Twitch thing. I saw nothing. I had to get a hint to myself by seeing the bitrate drop to 0, and that was about it. So that was nice. I will say part of the reason I haven't had much for games to stream on here either. Well, one, we didn't have much for options to begin with because a lot of the games I played before were like stupid free ones. Or the other case, for games I wanted to play for you guys, they're ones that I did not know were not allowed on Twitch. And then I figured out they weren't allowed on Twitch, and I'm like, dang it! Even though one of them I know why, the other one, not so sure. But neither one is allowed on Twitch, so I am sad. So lately I've been trying to research replacements, and I've been finding some good ones that hopefully we can start soon. Some of them are just like straight up dating ones, and some of them are actual like action-y sort of gameplay romance ones. Both sound interesting. This game. God, this game. Yeah, by the way, my main stuff that I play is like romance-y type clicker stuff. And this was the first game I play. I didn't know what this game was before I started it. The other guys told me this was a dating game. In a way it was. But also, it was more so a different thing. That is not dating and romance. Called psychological and horror. And as kind of horror, not really. Scary and psychological. Having horror-esque elements. The side stories, though, thankfully, those were just emotional, which, yeah, the side stories were right up my alley. They weren't scary at all. They were just about wholesome stories of people trying to be friends, and I love it. Okay. So. Gotta think about this. Yeah, so this stream went a lot shorter than I thought it would. Because I thought there was going to be a whole nother chapter. And I was wrong. There was only one more chapter. Okay. Trying to think if there's anything else I want to say before leaving. Yeah, I don't want to spoil too much because, like I said, the other guys are coming up with good ideas to keep some variation on this channel. Hoping for more consistency, we will try that. Yeah, sad thing is, our most consistent time was during when we had to stream every day. Who would have thought? I'm hoping we can bring some of that back because I know that there have not been very many streams since we were streaming every single day. And trust me, all of us are not very happy about it. It's been frustrating and it's fun to stream here. Especially when I get to see these wholesome stories and not be jump scared every 5 seconds by Yuri making very crazy faces. And instead being so sweet and helping Natsuki out of a panic attack. That was nice. I love it. Okay. Oh, for the games that I said that I was mentioning, for me to play, there are games that I've never played before. One of them that I'm thinking I want to play on here, I haven't even bought yet, but I'm thinking I probably will. 2 of them are free, oddly enough. And I don't know how far those are gonna go, but we'll see. And then there's a series of games that I bought. I think there's like 3 games in that series, and I have no clue how long the games are. So I gave us, that's what, at least 5 games already with the ones that I bought and or have downloaded. Because 2 of them were free, 3 of them from that series. And that's maybe a 6 if I get that one that I'm looking at. We'll see. But either way, I will have content in some way or other. I'll try and jump on the bandwagon a bit with the other guys coming up with the other ideas. It's a bit hard for me with the type of games I play, and I just don't know what else I could really do on here that I like to do. I don't know. That's something I have to think about more. For me, it was a fight enough just to get here. I don't know how many streams I've had here, but they're the fewest of everyone, I can guarantee you that. But hopefully that will change. Trying to think if there's anything else that anyone was planning. I want to give slight spoilers, but I'm trying to remember who and why. I don't remember if it's Red or who it is planning on a certain type of game marathon. Which will be interesting, but I don't know. I don't remember if it's him doing it or if it was one of the others. Blonde, what was he going to do? Green has a few tasks up his sleeve. Blue. I don't know about Blue. He has a few options. Red has a few options. I know at least one thing the Green's gonna do. Yeah, they've all got stuff coming. It's gonna be a process. But hopefully it'll start getting rolled out sooner rather than later. Okay. Blabber time is over, I suppose. So, I hope you guys look forward to what will be coming next. Whatever it may be. I don't know who you guys will be seeing next, like I said. It could be me, but I doubt it. Just because my stuff isn't the most intriguing, I would say. But, I hope for the best. And, I don't know. I just hope we can have some more fun here and actually be on here more than we have been. So, with that, I will bid you adieu, and see ya.
We're not all elastic, but maybe there's magic. Believe you could have it, and I know of sadness, the anxious and panic.